They charged me for 250 bucks, then again for 250 bucks, then they went up to 500, then 1,000, then they were charging me $2,500, and they were going higher and higher. And I am having the hardest time trying to get a hold of anybody on the phone from Coinbase, and I can literally start to feel myself panicking. What's up, guys? It's James Allen, the Out-of-State Investor, and today I want to share with you the story of how I lost everything in crypto. Now, this was a crazy situation, and it caught me completely off guard, but it's an important story because this could seriously happen to anybody. So before I go any further, do me a favor and smash that like button to support the channel. And if you haven't already done so, you're definitely going to want to subscribe and hit that notification bell to watch more content like this. And with that said, let's jump into it. Alright, so to give some background, some context to the story, I started investing in crypto back in the summer of 2017 only because a friend of mine actually came up to me one day and told me that I really need to check out this thing called cryptocurrency, that it could be the next big thing. So I started looking into it, and the more and more research I did, I started to realize, you know what, there might be something to this cryptocurrency. Maybe I really should invest in it. I understood the technology, what they were trying to accomplish with this, and it just made sense. So I ended up buying Bitcoin when it was worth about $4,000. I also bought some other cryptocurrencies when they were really cheap. And I went through that whole entire wave when 2017, the prices just shot up thousands of percent and everyone thought they were like a crypto genius. And of course, I also went through the crash, which was not the funnest of times, but I'll tell you what, I ended up cashing out because I needed to buy some real estate with some of that money. I saw a good deal that came up. So I ended up cashing out, ended up breaking even on that. So fortunately, I didn't lose any money, but I also didn't make any either, which was really unfortunate. But anyways, about a year later in the summer of 2019, I figured, you know what, let's give cryptocurrency another chance. I had a little bit of money and I figured if it's a small amount of money, I'm not going to be tempted to pull it out for real estate unless I make a bunch of appreciation on this Bitcoin or cryptocurrency. So I'll just put a small amount of money in, I'll just let it ride for the long term. So I ended up investing $3,000 into XRP, also known as Ripple. And again, I wasn't really that concerned with it because again, it was a long-term investment. I'm not planning on cashing out anytime soon. So anyways, about a half a year goes by and just out of the blue, I get this random text that just says, somebody's trying to log into your Coinbase account. And you know, you get those texts when, you know, maybe you're trying to log into it and maybe it didn't recognize the device or something like that. Except this time I knew I didn't do that. So I immediately go to my computer, I'm trying to log into my Coinbase account and I'm just typing in my password and it keeps telling me wrong password. Except I know I'm not entering the wrong password because I saved my password on my computer. So all I gotta do is put my fingerprint on it and it enters in the password, and that works every single time. So now I know something's really not right. So now I go to log into my email account, I check my email and I see I got an email from my bank telling me that my bank account has gone negative. So at this point, I'm completely freaking out. I know something's not right. So I immediately go to my bank account online to log in, see what's going on, and I couldn't believe what I saw. There were multiple purchases from Coinbase, and now at this point, I'm starting to think they must be buying up cryptocurrency from my bank account since my bank account is actually connected to my Coinbase account. So at this point, I'm looking over my account to see exactly how much they've taken out of my account. And I could see that they kind of tested it out early with a low amount of money. They charged me for 250 bucks, then again for 250 bucks, then they went up to 500, then 1,000, then they were charging me $2,500, and they were going higher and higher. And at this point, they'd already charged me almost $9,000 in my bank account. And I had no idea if they were still able to keep buying this cryptocurrency at this point, or if they were finally getting denied and maybe that's where it ends. So I immediately tried to call Coinbase, and I am having the hardest time trying to get a hold of anybody on the phone from Coinbase, and I can literally start to feel myself panicking. So at this point, I give up for the moment on trying to get a hold of Coinbase because I waited for so long and nobody's answering, and I need to move really fast right now. So I immediately call my bank back and I ask them to deny any more charges that come from Coinbase. So after that, I call Coinbase back. I finally get on the phone with someone and I tell them to immediately lock down my account. They end up doing that, and even if you have the password at this point, nobody can get access at this point, so I think I'm safe. Now, while I'm on the phone with the representative, I also try to get as much information as I can. I want to know what happened to the cryptocurrency I already had in my account. Did they transfer the cryptocurrency they just bought? What exactly is the situation? And what they told me is that they can't really explain that information to me on the phone because of different restrictions they have, but what they can do is refer me to their email support team, and I can email them and gain access to my account again, and they can tell me a little bit more detail of what exactly happened. So now that things have kind of calmed down a bit, at least I've locked down down my Coinbase account, I've locked down my bank account from any more purchases from Coinbase, I'm kind of wondering now, I have some time to think, like, how did they get access to my account? Because I have a two-factor authentication. So for those who don't know what a two-factor authentication is, it's just basically an extra layer of security so that if someone got your password, there's an extra code you would need to get access to your account. And the way I have my account set up is that they would have to send a text message to my phone with the extra code. So the only way you could get that code is by having my phone. So anyways, at this point I'm emailing back and forth with the Coinbase support team, and what they tell me is that the guy who accessed my account registered a new device with my Coinbase account, basically had the two-factor authentication code sent to that device, and that was under a Canadian IP address. Now I was really confused because I wanted to know how on earth did they get the two-factor authentication code sent to their device instead of mine when it's my phone number registered. Well, what they said is that I'd have to contact my telephone company in order to figure that out. So at this point I reach out to someone from my telephone provider, and what they tell me is that apparently somebody came in the store and managed to get my SIM card information onto his phone. Essentially, they hacked my SIM card. Now this sounds crazy, but apparently they had my wife's ID at the time, which they were using as identification to pretending to be my wife. And with that, they were able to get the authorization to transfer my SIM card information onto their phone and use that to get all the two-factor authentication codes sent to their phone instead of mine. And what's crazy is that my wife actually did lose her driver's license not that long before this event took place, so it actually kind of made sense when they told us that. So now we're kind of wondering at this point, is this somebody we know personally? How did they know that I was connected to any kind of cryptocurrency holdings? Either way, this was some pretty sophisticated stuff. We tried every channel we could to try to go down, to hunt this person down, try to hold them accountable, but unfortunately we didn't have any luck with that. So at this point, it's been about a week since the whole event went down. I finally get to log into my Coinbase account for the first time to see exactly what happened, exactly what I have left over, and you'll never guess what I saw. On one hand, they had actually stolen all the cryptocurrency I purchased about 6 months ago, so that $3,000 unfortunately went down the drain. But as far as the Bitcoin that was purchased, thank goodness that that was still there in the account. Now I want to say, if memory serves me correctly, that the reason why they weren't able to steal that Bitcoin and send it to their wallet like they did with my other cryptocurrency is because they have to wait 3 to 5 business days for that Bitcoin to fully process from my bank account. So in the end, I tried to get Coinbase to refund those purchases because I didn't make those purchases and I didn't feel like I should be responsible for that. Well, unfortunately, Coinbase refused to refund my purchases on that, and part of that was they didn't want to take any responsibility for it, but the other part is that the Bitcoin had actually lost about $1,000 in value. But fortunately, I went to my bank and my bank was actually able to cancel the purchase, and so that kind of saved me from losing all that extra money. So in the end, Coinbase ended up liquidating the Bitcoin in my account to recoup as much money as they could, and then at least as far as my bank was concerned, they were able to refund me all those purchases, so I was only out of pocket the cryptocurrency that was already stolen and taken to another account. So with that said, there's definitely been some lessons learned throughout this process. One of them is that there are so many different ways in which you can lose your cryptocurrency, so you really want to be as safe as possible. I mean, between sending it to the wrong wallet address, you could forget your password, someone can hack your account, there are just so many different ways to lose your money. So the safest way to go about dealing with it is putting it in an offline cold storage wallet, because that way nobody can hack into your account and just steal your cryptocurrency. It's completely offline. The second lesson I learned, and it's a pretty obvious lesson, but always do as much security as you can to really secure your wallet, secure your cryptocurrency. So anyways, this was my story about how my Coinbase got hacked and I lost all my cryptocurrency, and I really hope this never happens to any of you guys because it's definitely no fun. But if you guys at least enjoyed hearing the story about how this all went down and maybe you learned how you can avoid that yourself, do me a favor and just smash that like button to support the channel. And if you haven't already done so, definitely subscribe and hit that notification bell for more content like this. Also, let me know your thoughts or questions in the comments below and I'll do my best to respond. Finally, make sure to follow me on Instagram and TikTok at The Out of State Investor. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.